Mick, did I see it go live? Did I see that pop up? Did that go live?
It did on Zoom. I'm about to go live on Facebook. I just wanted to give everyone the heads up before I just jumped on live for everyone. But I'm just about to click the go live button. It's just preparing the live stream.
You ready for this, Katrina?
Oh my gosh.
We're going to have success this time. We're going to do it.
Hey, I've done a lot of things in the last month, so.
Bam.
We are live.
Go live. We are live.
It is there. Awesome. Look at this. I told everyone we were going to make it happen. We were going to bring it together. We were going to figure out this technology. And look, there it is. We're live. Success!
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you out there. It's so great to have everyone here today. We're just going to do a quick round robin, introduce ourselves, and kick this amazing conversation off today. Mick, you're in the top left corner on the screen. Take it away, brother.
I'm Mick Scotney, out here in Mount Isa. I do two things. I have a coaching business, Awaken Business, where I help small business owners build a foundation to really leverage their business, and even more so in uncertain times. And I also run a contractor business, part owner in that, and we do air cons, electrical, all that kind of stuff. So many years in experience in business, and I'm really passionate about business and helping people use this as a foundation to get what they need out of life. Over to you, Jamie. You're next.
Excellent. You know what? We're going to cross corners here. We're going to go right down to Katrina. Katrina, welcome. Tell us about yourself, what you have, what you do. Lay it on us.
Hi, I'm Katrina Gall, and I'm also out here in Mount Isa. I actually own a small little cafe. We specialise in mainly more healthy options, and we deal with a lot of allergies as well. So I just lost my earbud. So we do deal with a lot of allergies and vegan, vegetarianism. So, just different options to people in a rural community.
Excellent. Welcome. Brother Tim, lay it on us. Tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Tim Blais from Nova Scotia, Canada. For all you guys that don't know that, we still have igloos that haven't melted yet, right? So what do? I daily am deeply passionate about seeing entrepreneurs, business owners being successful in life, not just in business, but all aspects of the life. And right now we are weeks, if not maybe a couple of months away from launching the first platform worldwide that assists business owners with steps A to Z to sell their own business instead of paying me. I'm a business broker. I help people buy and sell businesses. Instead of paying me the big commissions, I'm going to teach you how to do it, everything. That's what I'm passionate about. I'm going to help you put more money in your jeans because you deserve it.
That is incredible. My name, of course, is Jamie Adamchuk. I represent UE Coaching, where I help business owners and businesses break out of that mold, tap into themselves, and unleash their truly untapped potential. Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here today. Tim, that's a bit of a game changer there. Tell us a little bit about that. First in the world, doing something different. And even though you're the business owner who works with businesses to help them buy and sell, you're doing something that's almost, in effect, going to take you a little bit out of the picture. Tell me about it, brother. Give us some insights on that.
Correct. So two parts to this. Part one is how do I be of service to more people? I'm confined geographically within my business based on my licensing, and over the last 11 years of doing what I've been doing, the knowledge, the experience that I've gained, it's universal, but I can't sell that service outside based on just being hired by a client to sell their business. So I'm confined in my own business. So when I'm thinking of all the other business owners that I work with, I'm thinking, how do you break down the barriers? How do you grow? How do you create leverage? And instead of me asking and telling and coaching, why am I not applying that to myself? So this is my avenue to be able to create the leverage, to be able to grow, to be able to be of service to more people, to be able to share the experience, the knowledge, and just add value to people's life. On the flip side of it, so the other side is, for me, it's business. It's how do I create a business where it's not about me, where I'm not trading time for money. I have a business that can run by itself without me, systems, policies, procedures, leverage, all of that stuff. This is the avenue that I need to take to make that happen so I can create the life, the legacy, the freedom, build all that stuff, right? It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one area, I suppose, of business that I have no experience in, is buying and selling business. And that's one thing that would be extremely, extremely beneficial to businesses and small business, because what happens is they build a business, they might be in business 10, 15 years, and then they maybe try to sell it. And it's really challenging. And if they could learn the skills while they're building the business in how to sell it, they could set it up from halfway through the business or from the start so that it can be sold sometime in the future. Because most businesses that I deal with and people that I talk to, it's started, one person, a family business, went out, started doing whatever it is. If it's a trade, started working as a sparky, and all of a sudden 20 years down the track, 10 years down the track, they want to sell it, and it's just them and a few guys, and the systems aren't there to sell, and it's really challenging to sell, and they can't get anywhere near as much as they actually want for it. Well, maybe I could sell that for $1 million, but they don't have the systems and all the back end and all the stuff set up to do it. So that's,
and sometimes, Michael, it's not about what they don't have. It's about what they do have and preparing it properly to help somebody that might be interested to understand what they do have clearly, succinctly, to help bring down the risk and raise the confidence. Because as we know, there's just like, life is about emotion. And when people are in a state of confidence, they will act upon things as opposed to fear. Fear holds us back, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, so when I look at business brokering, I look at the process of how do you prepare that business to be ready for sale, right? There's lots of things that you can do to increase the value of the business, but what you have is what you have. How do you bring that together? It's like, if say, for instance, Katrina, in the work that you guys do, it's all about the preparation. It's all about the delivery. If it's not prepared properly and it doesn't look good, it doesn't taste good, right? And you don't deliver that experience to somebody, they walk away, right? They might not come back. They want to go somewhere else. So a lot of what we want to teach people is you don't have to redo what you've already built. It's all about what you've built. How do I take that and really put it together beautifully in a succinct manner that lowers the risk, increases the confidence, and that helps you position your business for highest value, highest after-tax dollars. Because there's a lot of situations in life, as you know, that just come up and you don't have time. Something has to happen, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have 2 years to go and put together the systems and the processes and all the things to increase the value. I need to sell. I want to sell. So what do I do then? Do I go off and hire a business broker, or do I do it myself? Yeah.
And that's a huge part of, I suppose, that's a huge benefit to the businesses, because they can end up with more money in their pocket after more tax dollars, or more after tax dollars in their pocket, because they don't have to pay the broker with the commissions and all the rest of it. So that's a massive impact for small business, especially.
100%. And the one thing that I think is super valuable that can be taken away when you hire somebody else, who knows their business better than the owner, and who's more passionate about their business than the owner?
Yeah, nobody.
Knowledge and passion is power, and it's value, right?
Absolutely, no question. We were having a little discussion before we actually went live, and Katrina, you shared a really quality problem that you had recently here. Tell us about that, because hearing that, man, that lifts me up. To hear what happened, how well things went, that lifts me up in a big way. Please share that with us.
Well, because being in the cafe industry and worldwide, pretty much everything's been closed. And so we are just adapting our business model quite quickly and sometimes on a daily basis. So we decided to run a pop-up shop last night, which was a burger shop. And and it was started at 5:30, and we were supposed to run it all the way to 8 o'clock. By 6:30, well, actually within 3/4 an hour, we'd run out of our beef burgers completely, and by 6:45, I had to switch the pre-order system off and tell the girls not to take any more orders. So we had I think I can't even count how many orders we'd had within the first 10 minutes. The machine just went absolutely crazy, and we were underprepared, literally underprepared for the amount of orders that we got. The expectation from us was, we'll have a busy night, but not to that extent. That was just incredible. The wait time was more than I anticipated, and I spent the night. Oops, I've done it again. I think I'll just. And I spent the night in the kitchen with the chef, and I just expected the chef to be able to cope with what we expected. And it was chaos, but now we have to go back and rethink about how we plan for the next one. We learned a lot of lessons, and it goes to show to try something. We tried it. It absolutely worked. It's what people want, and I think also we underestimate at this time what people need. So a simple burger night, which was only 3 choices, I think people really needed it, and because everything else shut. So we were the only ones open, and we underestimated what people need at this moment.
How did you get the word out, Katrina?
Just Facebook, really, and it was only Facebook. We did a Facebook post on Tuesday, and Instagram.
To your own client, like to your own list, or did you do some advertising, like Facebook advertising?
No, none. Did not do any advertising. Just a Facebook page post on our page, and an Instagram post on our page as well. That was it. Wow. I didn't really want to do community because I actually didn't want this. I didn't want the problem that we had. But it kind of just grew itself. So yeah, that's how I didn't even print off any paraphernalia to put it in the shop. So it was purely all Facebook and social media, really.
That's
beautiful.
That's phenomenal. And like from our perspective, one thing we've been trying to do is support the shops that do open up. Buy a coffee or buy a takeaway that's from a place that we don't eat a lot of takeaway. My family a lot, maybe once a month we might get some takeaway. But during this, if someone has done something, we've been trying to get out to make sure we support that. And I think that's one thing that the community needs. A lot of people will go out to dinner and they want that opportunity to go and grab a burger or do whatever it is. And what I really love out of this is what it will change going forward. For businesses, because they've tried these things, and maybe I am just a cafe, but I could do a pop-up burger night once a month to change their revenue stream and do different things. Once you're allowed to have your restaurants open again and all that kind of stuff, I think it'll really change the mindset of people about what they can and can't do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, Jamie. I think out of everything, and to be totally honest, as it's not the most ideal situation that we're all in, I seriously think that if you are creative and you're not fearful, like you said before, Tim, take away the fear and just go with the flow and kind of come up with some different ideas and give it and throw it out there and see what happens. It's amazing what your business model can do and change for the future.
Absolutely.
It can be an absolute game changer, and it's getting out there and doing those things that's different. One of the big words that we see floating around, I scroll through my Instagram feed, my Facebook feed and all that, and the word that's around there everywhere is the word pivot, right? How do we change? How do we flow with this market? How do we find those opportunities? Number one, we've got to be open to it. We've got to recognize that, we've got to do things a little bit different. The idea of doing that pop-up every once in a while, even if it's once a month or something like that, it's outstanding. It's absolutely an outstanding idea that's going to change that business model. we're being given some insight into what people really want here by throwing something out, by putting that opportunity out there for them to go for it, to try it out, right? It opens up all those doors for us to recognize where we can innovate in our existing business. And innovation is where it's at, because when we innovate, when we meet our customers' needs, man, we get to grow. Katrina, another question. Seeing the success you had from that, and just the small amount that you shared it on, you said you just put it on your Facebook page. I'm curious, what are you going to do different next time? What's going to be slightly different about it to reorganize, reprioritize? What does that look like?
So I think, and working out what we did, and I won't say wrong, because there was no wrong thing about it. It was just we're underprepared, to be honest. So I think we'll take pre-orders and do it per time slots. And I will have a staff member that will text prior to it. So once we know we're a couple of minutes out from that order, I'll get someone to text you. Your order will be ready in 5 minutes. And we will be a lot more prepared in the kitchen. So we will have double or triple the amount of food. We will have it like a production line, opposed to being on the back foot. So our kitchen will absolutely be totally different. And I will put in another chef. So I'll bring extra staff in so that there's 2 people in the kitchen that can cope with it. But we'll streamline that kitchen process 100%, and doing the pre-orders so that, we'll do it in blocks, I think. This is just what I've been thought about as I've come out of last night. We'll block it and then have a staff member, another staff member that will text, say, your order's coming, it'll be 5 minutes away, please come through and pick up. Those kind of things are the things that I'll start looking at. Yeah.
See, I'm smiling at that, and I get excited about that big time, because the only time I've ever received a text is, hey, your table's going to be ready in 5 minutes. You're taking the technology that we've got on these phones and all that, you're applying it, you're utilizing it, and you're completely changing the experience. What's it going to do? It's going to streamline that business. Now, this makes me think, Tim, this question's going to go to you. We're in this place where we're experiencing, some businesses have experienced that boom, that right slowdown, and then nothing. How is that going to affect my valuation for my business, where my business stands and all that? How does that landscape change moving forward for selling my business?
That is a very interesting question right now, because there is so much uncertainty on what next week is going to look like, on what the week after is going to look like. The fact of the matter is, when we take a macro view, we take a high level view, there are definitely going to be some changes that will stick long term. But we will end up getting, the belief amongst most is that we will get back to normal. What is normal? Is normal what it was 8 weeks ago?
Yeah. Or
is normal that we do require more distancing of people to maintain that? So trying to answer your question, as of right now, as of today, it's a short-term phenomenon. And you really can't price this blip. It's like a radio frequency that got shut off and then turned back on, because as soon as our leaders around us have something figured out with a vaccine for the virus, they want people back to normal as quick as they possibly can. Have to. There's so many other factors involved. I could go on about that, but to the valuation side of things, as of today, I don't think buyers aren't buying right now, unless it's a business that they know can exist through the circumstances that we're dealing with. Food and beverage, so like hospitality industry, is by far the hardest hit, bar none, because 90%, maybe not 90, but it's like 80 plus, I'm sure, of that business is getting people inside of your doors and sitting inside of your space, right? We're not allowed to do that right now. So what Katrina's doing is I can do a pickup I can do a delivery. I can have people come along and place themselves in there. I don't know what the status is for you guys in Nova Scotia and most parts of Canada. It's complete lockdown. You can't go into a restaurant. Not allowed to, but you can go to the front door and you can pick up an order, right? Unless you're essential service. So I think for those people that are really focused on the long-term play, if they are tracking if they have systems to track their customer base through likes and follows and mailing lists and those types of things, right now is the time to really focus on expanding that, because there's value there. When things open back up, you have a whole new customer base that you didn't have because you were too busy working on your business. You can focus on growing that customer base where other people aren't, right? People are sitting at home doing what right now? Nothing. They're scrolling through their phone. They're checking their email. They're trying to find stuff to do. They're trying to be occupied. And there's lots of people that are super busy trying to figure out this whole thing. But for the most part, Jamie, I know I haven't answered your question specifically. It's valuations and art and a science. And right now we are in a place that there is no science, right? There's too many variables that come in to say this is exactly how you should value your business. And there's so many different businesses out there that right now are thriving and right now that aren't. So you've got highs and lows. Like you've got this massive amplitude that's happening, but it's not a sustainable thing. It will flatten out and get back to some sense of normalcy.
Absolutely.
Tim, can I ask a question? Sorry.
Please.
Go.
So say in 3 or 4 years when, say, you decide to, in any kind of business, but I'm just gonna put mine up there in a hospitality sense as it is. So in 5 years' time, I decide to put the cafe on the market. And then a potential buyer comes along, and then wouldn't it be not an added value, but a situation where you could actually come back to this current time, and say, look, even when the worst at the worst time possible, we didn't make money, but we held our own. So in saying that, if they say, what will happen if the worst case scenario, we lived through that. Well, we don't know what the worst case scenario will be in the future, but that in itself, selling a business going forward, is that, can that help? In sense, so if there was another business going, would that come into play when you're doing the sale of your, putting all the processes in place for the sale of business?
It certainly can. For many, Katrina, it won't. And when I say for many is the owner-operator business. So it's not your business processes, it's not your systems, it's you. And so if a new owner comes in, unless they are as forward thinking and engaged and passionate about the business as you are, right?
Yeah.
Then they'll make their own decisions on whatever circumstance comes their way.
Yeah.
So in North America, approximately 90% of businesses are owner-operated businesses. It's all here and it's all here, right? And that's why the valuation of these businesses are based on a very short time frame of revenues and profitability. And so out 3 years, if a buyer looks back, they want to look back over the last 5 years, even though they're only willing to pay you 2 or 3 times a multiple of your earnings, which is over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
They want to see historically, have you been going down? Have you been going up? And if they look back to your point, they see that, here's a section where revenues were down, but you at least broke even. And when they're comparing that to other businesses that they're looking at buying, well, your business is going to be more attractive than the other ones, even though they don't know the story behind you. They're just looking at numbers, and they see your numbers are better than other people, and therefore you would be, a higher possibility of being selected over the other ones, and possibly even getting, a higher premium based on the revenue and profitability that you do have.
I heard something really cool that I don't want to lose track of, Tim. You mentioned that right now this is a blip, right? Everyone hear that. Really, really, really listen to that and hear that. This is a blip. Like Tim said, we've just tuned the radio station just a little far off, and we're going to come back on. Many people see this as maybe being one of those defining moments in business that says, oh my gosh, everything was going along great, then all of a sudden it tanked. People are going to recognize this. People are going to remember this, and we're figuring it out as we go. We really quite literally are. It's not like this is just something that's happened in one country. It's a complete worldwide pandemic. It's affected everyone. Everyone's going to remember that when we start to look forward. That blip is really great. But here's the other thing that came out, and I think it's the more important thing. Katrina, Tim, the mindset that you're sharing, what I'm hearing you guys share, that positive upbeat, how are you able to be that way here and now? Like, how are you guys able to do that? Anyone can go first. I'd be curious to hear.
Ladies first, Katrina.
I am very privileged and lucky to have such an amazing team behind me, so that actually makes a big difference. I think you also drive that team. I'm a big believer of the fish rots from the head down. Being foodie, so that's what I use. But I think with the mindset, this is either a time you either jump into opportunities or you don't. And I'm such a challenged person, so I love challenges. So this has actually been quite good for me, because I was just coasting along. My business was going quite, was coasting. This was quite, yes, at the beginning was holy wow, like what do we do? And I might lose everything. And then just when you get rid of that fear, as you call it, Tim, and you jump into, okay, what can we do? And I think for me, that's it. I love challenges, so that's my personality. And instead of going, well, it's me, and oh my God, how the world's just gone into crap. What can you do as a person to make yourself better, your team better, and also the community? You've got to look after the community that's around you, or else you won't have anyone looking after you. So that's also another big commitment I have made to myself, is that I need the community after this as well to look up, to keep coming through. And plus the other thing is, it's just humanity. We've got to start being a bit kinder. So if we don't do that now, at the worst possible time in our lives, where are we going to be in 5, 2, 3, 4, whatever the future brings? This can shape the way we are, who we are, and the way we conduct our families, our business, and the whole of the world. So you either have one mindset and you work towards it, or you go the other way and you work towards that. It's that simple.
Wow, that's awesome. And you said a couple of really, really key things there. And no one in Canada would know this, but Katrina, I think it was the first week after everything got shut down, she was making meals for the emergency services, for the hospitals, for nurses, and delivering them out of her kitchen. No, she can't have a cafe, but she was raising money, so the community was helping pitch in. She was using her staff, her facilities, and donating a lot of her time and resources to make food for everyone else. And this is a time when literally the worst thing that happens is, hey, your business has just been cut down to almost nothing. Like you said, 70% of your revenue comes from a restaurant, because people come to you for your amazing food to sit in and have a nice experience. And all of a sudden, your first thought is, hey, let's make meals for other people now and for free. And like you said, this is the time where actions like that can shape not only shape you and position your business for all across the globe, but can position businesses to take their business on the other side of this to the next level, because everyone's going to recognize all the amazing stuff that happened during this time of chaos and go, hey, how amazing is this? Let's go and support that cafe now instead of the other one, or let's go and look after that business that's been giving back this whole time and helping the community and not just being selfish. Or it'll raise your brand awareness so much to the next level. So it's fantastic. That was beautiful, Katrina.
Tim, you're up, my brother.
I can feel that right now, and I can feel the strength that comes with those decisions and that action. And if I were to look back in your life, I think your story of 2 months ago that was easy, and right now is like, you want to know what? This is just strength. This is fueling your fire. This is setting you up for the next step forward in your life, and I absolutely love that.
Thanks, Tim.
For sure. Absolutely. And I think it's, I can see the gratefulness within you, and just looking to find the areas of life where I can contribute, I can help out. And there is so much around us to be grateful for, instead of focusing on the things that do not serve us, do not help us grow and keep us in our chair, when now is the time to stand up and find a way to contribute and grow. Like, if you're not growing, you're dying. And so that's a choice, and it's not easy for a lot of people to make that choice, but you've got to start somewhere, right? And you've obviously had a lot of ingredients in your recipe to get you to where you are today. And for anybody that is sitting in a place right now in their life where they're finding a challenge or finding a struggle to move forward, find something that you love, that you're passionate about, and just go do it, right? Go help somebody, get out there and fuel your mindset, fuel your body, and just create positivity, because that stuff snowballs. And next thing you know, hey, the world opens back up and you're in a whole new place of life that is absolutely amazing and beautiful.
Absolutely. No question about it whatsoever. It is really, truly seeing that opportunity. Right, Katrina, you are the shining star of that. You went in, you didn't choose to look at, oh my gosh, the world's ending, we got to shut everything down. What's the opportunity here? Where can I make that difference? How can I step up in such a big way that gives back to the community, that does all those things? I mean, I've shared this out there a lot. Now is the time for each and every one of us to truly step up. It's why Mick and I started doing this. Right? If we can get some businesses out there, if we can highlight some businesses, if we can bring light to them to see who's really doing what, how they're maintaining through this, and not just maintaining, maybe even growing, maybe even thriving, because it is happening out there, then we've done our job. We're doing that to give back everything. When we switch that, when we recognize that, there's people in the human race that need that help. And when we're able to do that, when we're able to make that impact for them, we're doing good. We're doing maybe what we've been put here to do.
Mm. I love that.
And to that point, mindset around all of this, it's instant gratification does not happen in the business world. We're all graced with a little bit of luck in our life, or call it grace, if you will, where things just show up, and that was easy and that was awesome. It's not a bi-weekly paycheck, right? So I can't count on that. The seeds that I plant today, and I water and I nurture and I tend, and they grow into something magnificent, it takes weeks, months, years, depending on how much time you put into something, will likely end up resulting in how big and how fruitful it is that you grow. So even though, business owners might be going through some serious challenges and struggles right now, what seeds are they planting? What are they tending? What are they growing? And that fruit that effort will bear fruit at some point down the road. So let's be mindful of that. Today is just today. We've got a full life ahead of us.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there, Tim. I think the single biggest opportunity in this whole craziness is to plant the seeds now to come out the backside of this booming. There's so much opportunity with people. If people add value now and plant those seeds now, and hey, 95% of those seeds aren't going to produce any fruit right now, but as they do and going forward, that is going to really be a game changer for business. And the ones that have put the work in, planted those seeds, watered them, done the things now, you're going to see the success in 1 to 2 years of those businesses, and everyone's going to go, Jesus, look at that business. They're bloody killing it. What's going on there? You know, what have they done? Oh, how lucky are they? Look how successful their business is. But it's all those seeds they've planted now that are really going to come off on the backside of this. I think it's going to be a huge game changer for business, and the people who have got in and done it now are really going to reap the rewards in the coming 12 months to 2 years, I think.
Yeah. And I think, you know, there's times where we can, you know, I don't want to say sit back and celebrate, but maybe stand forward and celebrate. So Katrina, like what happened in your life with your pop-up, celebrate that, share that with your community, with Facebook. And I don't know if I hope you have thrown out that big thank you and like, wow, we were completely overwhelmed. We look forward to doing it again. It's going to be a little bit different next time, but we are coming back to you, and let's make it bigger and better than ever. And how can you be of more service? How can you grow that even bigger than what it was and knock this thing out of the park, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all about learning as well. So, you know, it's about not being afraid to give it a go too. And I think in this time, people are accepting of trying something different as well. Like I guarantee you, 5 weeks ago, if we had have done the same, we would have had a totally different outcome, because people wouldn't have waited as long, and the patience level wouldn't have been and they wouldn't have been accepting. So now we've got the opportunity to give things a go and get a little bit more acceptance, I guess, and patience. So I think for me, even another lesson, like as I've just said now, like it's worth giving something a go and trying something out. Because yes, of course, as a business owner, you go, oh, I could have done that. Why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I do that? You know, so you constantly, you dissect it. You dissect everything that went wrong. And Tim, thank you for that, because I'm like still going, I should have done that. I should have done this. I know what to do in the next time, but I didn't really, you know, like, I didn't shout out to the world to go, yes, I did thank them, but I didn't take the positives as such, because I'm thinking, okay, how can I do this better? So thank you for that, Tim. I do appreciate that. That's a good point that's a really good point to celebrate. And it was a win. It was a win.
And not just for you, for everybody else too, that we're able to get out and they're celebrating that they got to enjoy some absolutely delicious food, right?
Yeah. Bless you. You should try it. It's great.
I'm actually definitely looking forward to the next one, so I'll be keeping an eye out for when that is, because I didn't know about it. We had takeaway last night. I would have lined up and got burgers instead.
Next time, Mick. Yeah.
So another question that comes up, another thought idea. If I was a newer business, and I want to hear from both of you on this, I'm a newer business, I'm starting out, I'm facing some of these challenges, Corona comes along and all that, and I'm starting to get some fears in my head. I'm starting to get some fears about what's going on. Maybe I've only been in business for a year or what now. From you guys who are both established business owners, what would you tell me as this new person? What insight, what jewel would you share with me to keep me going? I'd love to hear from both of you.
You go, Tim.
Sure. So the last crisis that we had was 08-09, and I quit my job, a great job right during the peak of the financial crisis. I moved across the country into a place where I had no network, with nothing but a vision and an idea to acquire or start a business that I could just that's where I was focused. And it was, for all intents and purposes, it was the worst time to start a business. But why did I start that business? What was my why? What was my passion? What was my reason? And that's your light. If you stay focused on why you're doing what you're doing, that passion will come through time and time again for all the people that you need to be talking with that are there to support you, because you're there to add value in people's life. So stick to your passion, stick to adding value in people's life. That's going to come through. People need what it is that you have to be of service to them. Stick it through and you'll be just fine. I had the worst year financially in my life, but the biggest personal growth year that I've ever had in my life. And that will reap massive rewards time and time again, so long as you keep that attitude and you keep serving and you keep passionate about why you're doing what you're doing. Bam, nothing will hold you back.
Wow. Tim, thank you for that. That's outstanding. That belief, get rock solid, understand my why, and then double down on that. Katrina, share your amazing, incredible entrepreneurial knowledge with us. What would you tell me?
Well, I have to say that too, Tim. Like, this is the worst financial year that we will have. I predict towards, once we get into further down the track. And I said that to someone the other day. I actually found my why, and I really appreciate why I have done this. So the people that come into the shop and dine in, I actually miss that, and that interaction, and that is the reason why I absolutely love and do what I do. And you kind of, I think the other thing is you kind of just do the same thing when everything's normal. This is our new normal. So I really like the fact where it takes you out of your comfort zone, and for me, this has been my year of going back to why I'm doing it, and it's so in my face every
Oh, I think got an internet issue there. We've dropped out. And further to what Katrina was saying, I too have found my why. It's really been a huge impact on my life and my business, and even in the other business that I'm a part owner in. It's really helped us refocus on why we want to be in business, what we want to do, where we want to go. And it's funny. It's also that it's made the world and business more accepting of change and doing things differently. So it's created a massive opportunity to open people up to change and go, well, hey, guess what? Stuff changes. And normally in business, when you want to change something, you get a lot of resistance. And now if you want to change something or try something different, everyone's up for it. And I think it's been really, really, from a mindset thing, it's been a huge shift. And I've shared this with Jamie before, like just straight away, like let's just step up and do more for people. Now's the time to do more. Not just because when things are going great, you do more, but do more when things are going bad. Let's do more for people now than we've ever done for them in the past. Let's do more. Let's add more value to people. And that's why we started this show, is to add more value to businesses around the world, to help make a difference somewhere. If we can improve 1 or 2 or 10 or 50 businesses' lives in the next over this time, then that will make a massive difference to me. And that's like what Katrina said, it's really helped to highlight the why, and that's been a huge impact for me too, is really just refocus that why. It's always been there, but it's really come to the front of mind that this is why I do this, and keeps it forefront.
Why is powerful. Why is the fuel, quite literally, that moves us forward. And it's not just the low grade fuel, it's the top grade fuel. When we've got those whys, when we've got them locked down, solidified, man, that pushes us big time. I love hearing it. All three of you, you really shared that. It comes back to that reason why. And I believe each and every one of you, because I know that if I don't have that strong enough reason, man, I might hesitate. I might step back and say, well, I should I? We don't want to do that. When you get that why that literally thrusts you forward, that pushes you through any barrier, man, you're in the right direction. Tim, I think I cut you off there. You're going to share something.
No. I was going to actually turn it over to you guys and ask you guys, for people that might be on this call right now, or and are struggling to find their why, what are some of the tips that you might share with them, maybe an exercise, whatever, to really, sit down or stand up or whatever it takes to get focused in and feel their why and really start to bring that into who they are as a person and take the actions that are necessary to bring that why to fruition, right?
I don't know about you, Jamie, but probably one of the biggest tools that I've found, which really helps to uncover that, is the 7 levels deep questions. And I thought you might say this one, Jamie. It's, like if I was to say to you, Jamie, why are you a business coach? And you would tell me whatever the answer is, that's important because of A, B, and C. But then I'll say, well, why is A, B, and C important to you? And you keep digging more and more levels deep until you get to the real reason. Because quite often, when even do it on yourself, but you will answer, say for me, why do I coach business? Oh, because I want to help change business lives. And then, well, why is changing business lives important to you? Oh, because there's a huge impact on family. Oh, okay, now we're getting closer to the point. Well, why is family important to you? Because the family's important to me because it's the single biggest. It's around you all the time. That's your community, and it's not just your immediate family, your bigger family. Well, why is that important to you? And you keep digging until you get to the real reason. And about question 4 or 5, it just shifts. You're like, that's why I do this. That's the impact I make. And that's probably one of the biggest tools that I've found, which has really helped me lock in why I do this. And for me, it's around making sure that business owners and families, and you see it all the time, business owners and families, their kids are in daycare, they don't get time to look after them, they struggle to spend time with them because they're too busy working in the business and they're there 70, 80 hours a week, and it's the family that struggles. So that's the bit I want to fix. But to do that, I'll fix the business and help them realise that you can have a good, successful business without sacrificing everything. And that's what drives me, and that's why I love being in business. That's why I love business. That's something that drives me. So that questionnaire was really powerful for me. Jamie?
Yeah, I'm going to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th that answer. Yes, that's exactly it. We want to dig down to those reasons why that exercise, and again, it's called the 7 levels deep exercise. It drives it down. It drives it down. I mean, when I've done it with business owners and stuff, it'll come up, well, why do you want your business to be successful? Why do you want your business to grow? Well, to make more money. Of course, come on. It's of course it's about making more money. But when we drill down, and like you said, Mick, we get to that 4th, 5th question, man, things shift. Things really change, and it starts to get personal. Because all of a sudden, great, it's money, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. What does it do for you? Why is it important to you to make that money? Well, it's important because, I can take care of my family. Great. Why is it important to you to take care of your family? Then it really shifts, right? Ultimately, a lot of people end up, so that I get to leave a legacy. So that I get to create something, that legacy of taking care of my family, that legacy of seeing the business grow, of doing all those things to really know that I made a difference, right? That's a common answer. I've done this exercise, gosh, I don't know how many hundreds of times with different clients. And ultimately, they always end at that place. It's a legacy. It's to make a difference. It's to, ensure that the people that are most important to them, family, whether it be spouse, whether it be children, parents, whoever it is, to know that they're taken care of. When it comes to whys, make it personal. Like really, really, really get personal behind it. Have it something so it's just attached. Because I'll tell you what, and I, Katrina and Tim, I think you'd both agree, if it's just about money, is that enough? Is money enough? What do you guys think?
Well, to be totally honest, when it really comes down to you're in the worst possible scenario at the moment, it doesn't matter about money. Money's just not there. So, it's not a factor in this anymore. It's a survival. We're in survival mode, and it really comes down to money's it's not so much not an option anymore, but it's not the driving force of why to keep you going. It's, for me, the first part was, my question was, how can I keep my team on board? Mm-hmm. How can I keep paying them? That was the first question for me. Wasn't like, oh, well, yes. And if I can pay my bills and keep my team on board, the money doesn't matter.
Mm. That's so true, because one of the single, with our other contractor business, we sat down with the directors and they said, what are the outcomes that we need? We don't know what's going on at the moment. And the very first outcome that all three of us said was nobody can lose their job. Nobody. All right, sweet. So how do we make that happen? What do we need to do? What challenges, let's make it happen,
Beautiful.
Yep, that's it. That's it. And that's amazing, right? It is the why. That is the exercise. That's what's going to get you towards your ultimate outcome. It's the fuel. We've got the exercise. We've really covered that up. We've used almost an hour of everyone's time. You guys have been amazing here. I love you both. You guys, seriously, you guys have been so amazing. You've added so much value to everyone. Let's get you guys out there. What I'd love to hear is, how can people contact you? What's the website? How can someone reach out if they want to get more information from you, Tim? Katrina, if they want to get in on the next pop-up, how do they do that? How do they find you?
So I have my Facebook page is The Extra Mile Cafe, and my Instagram page is The Extra Mile Cafe, and my website's www.theextramilecafe.com.au.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tim.
So my website is gatewaybusinessbrokers.ca. My direct line is country code 1, area code 902-441-9589. Call me, text me, email me at tim@gatewaybusinessbrokers.ca, and I will personally get back to anybody who wants to have a chat, connect, and we'll make sure that whatever your needs are, we're there for you. And yeah, I would love to hear from anybody we could touch base with. Thank you.
That's fantastic, guys. And people out in our region, if you haven't liked Katrina's Facebook page, jump on and do so that you don't miss the next pop-up, so we can all stay up to date. By the sounds, it's going to be even more epic. Yeah,
do you do delivery to Canada, Katrina? If not, when?
Yeah.
If not, when?
I'm sure you've got some good places there that you could support.
Excellent. With that said, thank you so much, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure to have everyone on board. We hope we've added some massive value today. Again, if you've got questions for anyone, if you're still here, you're still watching, you've got some questions for anyone, or if you've picked up on the replay of this, please don't hesitate to reach out. Put the comments in below. Share some love. We'll do everything we can to see you succeed. And likewise, if you want to pop on, if you want to get your business featured to get you some traction out there, we'd love to have you on the show. Shoot us a comment, send us a DM. We can't wait to have you here. Thank you so much, everyone. It has been amazing.
It has been absolutely amazing. And if anybody wants the 7 levels deep template, I have a template. I can share that. Just drop a comment and I'll pass it on to you. With that said, thank you, everyone. It's been fantastic. I'll see you next Saturday.